It is our traditions, ceremonies, and rituals. Each small detail carries a deep layer of our ancestors' wisdom. It is our pride, our treasure, our national encyclopedia. Let's turn the pages of this encyclopedia together. The tradition which unites all Turkic people is the tradition of equestrian sports. Bayge has been and remains the most famous and the most widespread kind of equestrian sports of the Kazakhs. It is an honor to participate in such competitions. The Kazakh people breed the fastest and resistant horses. The nicknames of the best horses pass on by word of mouth, and breeders have great expectations from the offsprings of these horses. There are many songs and poems about Bayge in Kazakh folklore. For example, a classic of Kazakh literature, Ilyas Jansugurov, named his famous poem in honor of the winner of Bayge. Horse neighing is cutting the sky. The horses are getting closer and closer. The stones are bouncing. The noise is increasing. By horse is reaching black wine. Which one will come the first? Why do the Kazakhs consider participation in Bayge a prestigious business? The fact is that it is a contest in which the rider needs to demonstrate magnificent skills of riding, impeccable honesty and nobility. What are the rules of Bayge? When and why did they change? What is the principle of awarding the participants? We will tell you about this and many other things in our today's program. Professor Ahmet Toktabay studied many ancient rituals which are associated with the horse cults among the nomads. Some of them have gone into oblivion, but not Bayge. In general, all types of Kazakh Bayge are associated with a distance. Races of distance of 15 kilometers are called Kunan Bayge. 2-year-old horses are ridden on this type of Bayge. There is another type of Bayge which is held before Kunan Bayge. It is Tayjaris, Bayge where colts participate races for 5 to 10 kilometers. Races of 2-year-old horses are held for 15, 20, sometimes 25 kilometers. Next after Kunan Bayge is Alaman Bayge. It is a rugged terrain riding for long and extra long distance up to 50, 100 and 120 kilometers. Unfortunately, nowadays Alaman Bayge is completely forgotten. The last time such races were held in 1928. In those days, the Kazakhs used to follow this tradition. We are descendants of the nomads. Their way of life was directly connected with patience, endurance, agility and ingenuity. All these qualities were taught from childhood through different kinds of plays. Moreover, as soon as a baby boy was born in the family, Nagashö, mother's relatives, gifted Tai, that is foal. The foal and the boy grew up together, and later this foal became the first horse of the young Jigit. In some regions, a rite of putting the boy on the saddle, Ashamayga Mengazu, has been preserved till our days. It is customary to put children from the age of 3 on the children's saddle, Ashamay. In an ideal situation, boys by the age of 4 to 5 are already able to participate in Bayge. But in our time, everything is a little different. The age of modern riders is from 7 to 9 years. They participate in Kunan Bayge without saddle and insurance at the racetrack. It is a serious test even for adults, so the skills and abilities of young jockeys cause only admiration and respect. We choose children with the ability to ride from very young age. We put the boys on the horse, show them nature of the horse, teach them the characteristics of the animal, and of course, we teach riding itself. The partner of the rider, horse, also requires a special training. The Kazakhs had complete and total mastery in this. There are even folk legends about some men who taught horses to dance to music. Trainings are held on daily basis. For example, if the distance is 25 kilometers, then we train the horses without heavy load for such distances, and then we let the horse rest and relax.
Бұл бізге қазақта ат бәйгесінде шабатын балалар болады.
Only boys participate in Kazakh baigie. How can men of 70-80 kilograms weight ride on long distances? Nowadays in Europe, races are short, for 1.5, 3 to 5 kilometers, and there are adult men participate. And in Kazakh baigie for long distances, children and adolescents of the age from 7 to 12 years participate because they have a small weight. And those of them who sit firmly in the saddle are real skillful riders. Those who do not know how baigie and the preparation of riders are arranged do not even imagine how everything is thought out here and is arranged for the riding without saddle for long and extra long distances. And here the safety comes to the fore. The riders have a small pillow tied with one knot on the horseback, and the boys wear such triangular garters in the form of swimming trunks sewn from the fabric. The boys wear these garters, sit on the horse and ride. They have a whip in their hand and there is a fabric on one side of it. This fabric is necessary so that the rider can wipe the eyes of the horse, because during race for long distances the eyes water and there is a dust around. And with the other side of kamshi, whip, they flog. So whip is double-sided, one side for whipping and the other end for wiping the eyes of the horse. In the old days, baigie was an indispensable part of every big toy celebration. This tradition has survived to this day, but has undergone some changes. For example, Kunan baigie, races for distance of 8 to 10 kilometers, are often held on small festivities. If a very big toy is arranged, then there is a chance to watch the rare type of races, Alaman baigie. The Kazakhs believe that behind equestrian competitions there are competitions of people, orda, or tribes. If you ask why, the answer is that the victory in baigie glorified the name of the whole tribe, orda, or family. The fast horse takes the breath away of the modern Kazakhs who even get used to drive cars. And in the old days, everyone knew the nicknames of the winners of the baigie. Surprisingly, even today, people remember them with reverence and love. These nicknames are on everyone's lips. For example, Kulager. Another one is a black horse of Makulbek Sherimuli in the Jambil. It was a very fast horse. Then in Tarbagatai there was a bay horse, people called him Mın Koytoria. Or in western Kazakhstan, in Aktobe region, there were the famous horse Akboril and his glorified horseman Aykın. Baigie is not only the races itself or preparation for them. The equestrian activity in the steppe was developed as good and maybe better than in Europe. After all, the nomads have been handling this for many centuries. The Kazakh people invested a lot to improve the breed of the horses. They spent large funds, devoted much energy, went to neighboring countries in search of the fastest horses. The Kazakh used to select horses for baigie by their origin. It was important to know the ancestors of the horse, because the fast animal can be born by fast ancestors. For example, to get good and fast horses, the Kazakhs most often took even not thoroughbred but strong and hardy mares. They were crossbred with Asian Akhaltiki horses, with Arabian horses, Azerbaijani horses of Karabakh breed. By the way, in Azerbaijan, there are horses of the Kazakh breed, so the Kazakhs used to bring them and crossbred. It turns out that the Kazakh men of Semirechye region traveled to the very remote mountain regions in order to ennoble the breeds of the horses. They could reach Turkestan. They arrived there, made a deal with the owners of the horse, paid money, and then brought home the best horses. The changes of modern baigye lie in the fact that the prizes are given to those who took the first, second, and third places in the races. Most often, prizes are given in the form of cash. Sometimes it is a car. Only few people know that in the old days there was a completely different approach to awarding, and prizes were different.
Қазіргі таңда бар ғой, мына ат бәйгелерінен нелер сыйлықтар тігіледі ғой. Осы мүлде қазаққа жат дұрыс емес.
Nowadays, the winners of horse races are given prizes. I think this is not entirely correct.
Үш-ақ атқа ғана сыйлық тағайындайды.
The way how the first three finalists are awarded reminds the European tradition of giving gold, silver, and bronze medals. And here the first finalist receives car, Jeep, and for the second, third places, another prizes. And here how it was in the old days. For example, at least 50 horses were participating in the races, and 9 riders who reached the first were presented with gifts. For example, the first one was awarded 100 horses, and the second rider and the 9th rider also. As a result, it turns out that out of 50 horses and riders, about 10% were given prizes. The tradition of baigye left some interesting concepts in the Kazakh language. It turns out that there are some words, and today many people do not know the original meaning of them. At baigye, the horses run one after another, and the Kazakhs have the word dayashi. Nowadays, it means waiter, but at the time, for the Kazakhs, the word dayashi had a completely different meaning. Dayashi was a person who took off a headscarf from the head of the rider who arrived first to the finish. Dayashi distributed prizes, and nowadays Dayashi turned into waiter, and that's offensive a bit. Earlier, the race organizer used to say the number of horses for which he allocated prizes, and 15 Dayashi distributors were appointed to 15 horses. They used to meet riders, take off their headscarves. All these activities were organized in advance so that later there would be no misunderstandings.
15 даяшы жаңағы 15 адамның орамалын алып, соған ешқандай артынан не болмас үшін.
Another word is barlaushi. We all know the meaning of this word as a scout in the war. In fact, in the old days, this term had a totally different meaning. For example, baigye for distance of 70, 80 or 100 kilometers at different parts of the distance, these scouts or observers were standing. The task of barlaushi was to ensure that no one joined race on these parts. After all, it was quite possible that someone could join with well-relaxed horse, full of strength, and undeservedly receive a prize. Our way of life have changed. We do not migrate from one place to another riding horses, and we rarely see horse herd. We got used to cars and planes, but despite this, we still love horses and have passion for baigye. Not without reason spoke ancient, it is impossible to separate the Kazakh from his horse. The Kazakh village does not exist in the way it used to be, and there are no nomads, wandering people. But most of prairie folkways and traditions still surround us. We follow them, but we not always know what they mean. Bahit Kairbekov, poet.